Hi everyone, my name is Mariam and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so excited. I've been thinking about doing this for so long, so I'm just so excited that I finally took the steps to move forward and make this happen. For today's video, I really wanted to talk about something that I call mindful resilience and kind of talk about some steps on how to help conquer anxiety and overthinking. One thing that I do want to start off by saying is that anxiety is a very, very normal thing. Everybody has anxiety. It's a part of human nature. If you meet someone and they tell you they have no anxiety whatsoever, and they're lying. If we're in a situation where there is danger, it's our body's way of relaying that information to us so that it could protect our well-being. So our brain puts us in a fight or flight mode. Then we have to either do something about it or get out of there. A lot of people do have much higher levels of anxiety than the average person. It can be really debilitating and super exhausting, and I speak from experience, as I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way, and that's probably how you came across this video. For a lot of people, anxiety can be derived from fear. It can also be derived from overthinking. A lot of times we get stuck in something, especially for overthinkers. It's called the what if loop. So the what if loop is basically just like kind of how it sounds. What if this happens? Or what if that happens? It can actually put you into something called analysis paralysis, which basically you're overthinking so much that it prevents you from making a choice. So you just kind of get stuck and you just don't do anything. When you start having a negative thought, or you start going into a what if thought loop, or going down that rabbit hole, just remember to bring yourself back to the present moment and intentionally shift that thought. Remind yourself you are not your thoughts. You are in control of your thoughts. You have the power to change them. The first step to anything is awareness. The fact that you're aware that you have this going on, this anxiety, the fact that you're aware enough to, go and look up these videos to try to better yourself, that's huge. That's the first step to anything, is being aware. And then the next step is taking the best approach towards making yourself better. And for everybody, it could be a little bit different, but always remember to be kind to yourself. I wanted to share some ways that I use that help me overcome anxiety and overthinking in the moment. The first one is bringing myself back into the present moment. A lot of times overthinking and anxiety is caused because we're really overthinking something that's already happened in the past and we're ruminating about it, or we're overthinking something that hasn't happened yet and it's in the future. So you want to bring yourself back into the present moment. And a really good way to do this is to just kind of close your eyes and take a deep breath in, maybe hold it for a couple of seconds, and then an intentional breath out. And then be mindful of where you're feeling that anxiety. For me, a lot of times it's in my chest. So I like to put my hands over here over my heart while I'm breathing, just so that I can feel it. I can really feel the breath going to that area. Number two, once I've calmed myself down, I like to move my body. There's so many ways you can do this. I love going for walks. I love being out in nature. So going for a walk is a great way. Going to the gym is another great way. I love working out. I love lifting weights. Really getting that exercise in. And something that I've actually started doing recently is yoga. So I found a new love for yoga. I try to incorporate that into my routine by doing it once a week. Or if you want to do something else, go do a dance class, go do some kickboxing, whatever it is. Move your body, whether it's a low intensity thing like walking, or more of a high intensity thing like running. Just do something. It will really, really help you. Number three is journaling. I actually never used to like journaling, I'm not gonna lie. I never used to see the value in it. I tried doing it, I would write, and I'm like, I just don't feel good. But recently I started doing journaling again, and I felt that it's actually helping me a lot more. And I think the difference is I'm writing with intention now. Journaling, there's no right or wrong way to do it. You can just write your thoughts down, whatever you're thinking, whether it's good or bad, because then you're externalizing those emotions, especially if they're negative emotions, you're releasing them. But just like how when they say it's not good to have pent-up anger because eventually you're just going to explode, it's the same thing with anxiety. You don't want to keep it building and building and building until you just can't take it anymore. Journaling and getting it out is a good way of externalizing and releasing. Another thing that I like to do when it comes to journaling is at the end of the night, I like to write 3 things in my journal that I'm grateful for. And by doing that, it helps you shift your thought pattern a little bit from thinking in a negative way to more of a positive way, because you can't be negative and be grateful about something. So I try really hard to think about things that I'm grateful for that are different every single day. I love my coffee, but I'm not going to say I'm grateful for my coffee every day. I'm going to really try to find something different every day to be grateful about. So number 4 is guided meditations. I love guided meditations. There's so many on YouTube, so you can just look for them. I really like to do that in the morning when I'm not rushing out for work, but when I have like a nice relaxing morning, I like to sit before I do anything, before I make coffee, before I look at social media, go on my phone. I like to pull up a guided meditation and just sit and relax and just kind of go through that. And it really, really helps set the tone for my day. So I really recommend that. The next thing is visualization. Basically, it's just using your imagination. I know it sounds really silly, but if you think about it, we do it almost every single day. You're daydreaming, you're thinking about things in your mind, and when you're thinking about things, naturally, you start to see the picture in your mind. The difference with this is intentionally imagining your life the way you want it to be, as if it's already happening in the present moment. It's super, super powerful. When you think about the thing that you want, it can become reality. This is actually a form of manifestation. The cool thing about this is when you're thinking about what you want, you naturally will start to come up with the ways and the solutions in order to get there. A neat little thing that I learned was our brains actually have a filtration system, and it's called the reticular activating system. There's so much going on around us at any given point in time. Your brain cannot process it all at once. So basically it learns to filter out certain things based on the thoughts that you feed it. If you're constantly feeding your brain negative thoughts, that's what's going to stand out the most. If you're always feeding your brain more positive thoughts, that's what's going to stand out the most. One easy example is, let's say you buy a new car, brand new shiny red car, something that you've never driven before. Suddenly you leave the dealership and then this car pops up everywhere. Now you see so many people driving this car that you before never really used to see at all. It's not that those cars weren't there before, they were always there. It's just your brain wasn't, noticing them. It wasn't picking up on them because it wasn't in your perception. It wasn't anything that you were thinking about. But now that you've seen it, it's in your mind, your brain picks up on it, and now you suddenly see the car everywhere. And the same thing works with thoughts. If you're constantly feeding yourself, positive reinforcement, you're going to see more positive outcomes. Once you put an opportunity in your mind and you start visualizing yourself doing the thing that you want to do, you're going to start to see solutions in order to get to that opportunity, in order to make that happen. Things you never thought about before, your brain is more open to them now. And the last thing that I recommend that has worked for me is therapy. I actually tried hypnotherapy. I did that for 2 months. And if you're in the Metro Detroit area, check out Evolution Empowerment. They were amazing. They're not sponsoring this video, but just from my own experience, I absolutely loved going there. Everyone that works there was just so inviting, makes you feel so at ease. I truly had such a great experience there, and I felt like I learned so much about myself. So I highly recommend hypnotherapy. And then obviously talk therapy. It's something that I'm doing now every couple of weeks, and it's like I said earlier with journaling, you're externalizing those thoughts. It's the same concept with talk therapy, except you're talking to somebody, and it's just always good to get it out and have someone to speak to, someone that can give you a different perspective or an unbiased point of view, someone that can bring you back into the present moment and really help and guide you through any of these tough times that you're going through. So therapy is definitely recommended. I recommend therapy for anybody, whether you have anxiety or not. I think it's always a good idea to do therapy. Lastly, remember to be kind to yourself. Healing is a journey. It's not a race. You're not going to wake up the next day and feel completely better, and you have to remind yourself that that's okay. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Just like the gym, right? You're not going to go and, have a six-pack and a week or two. It takes time, it takes consistency, dedication. You got to really, really dig deep and motivate yourself. So it takes time. Be kind to yourself. When you start having those bad moments or those bad days, remember to ground yourself, do the breath work, remember to bring yourself back into the present moment, and just tell yourself it's okay. And this is going to pass, that you're safe, you're secure, and this is just going to be another memory. It's going to pass. Your brain can continue to grow and develop regardless of what age you are. Neuroplasticity is the brain's capacity to be able to be reprogrammed. You are able to reprogram your brain by building new habits, by shifting your thought pattern and being consistent about it. You're able to change the way that you think. The longer that you practice healthy and mindful routines, the more likely it's going to turn into a habit in the future. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, please subscribe, like, and comment. If you have any topics that you want me to discuss, leave them in the comments section. My hope is to upload a new video every week. If not every week, then every other week. I'll have new content on my channel. So thank you guys.